Well, good morning, everyone. And once again, welcome to another live this morning. Hope you're having a great start to your day and you're doing well and you've had your vitamin C. And let's say hello to a few dear friends here. Mike from Norland. Numero uno, Brahim, good morning to you guys. And Andrea, Niagara Falls. 1, 2, 3. Top of the circle there. Lori, how are you? Eric, Ottawa, Sandy, Minnesota, Lori, Alberta, Carrie, Nebraska, and Fran from Orangeville. Good morning. Jeanette from our staff, Mary, Norwich, and Georgie, Halifax, Nova Scotia, Sharon, Kansas, Sherry, oh, I want to sing. Mississauga, Yaloud, bonjour, Wendy from Markup, and Lisa Marie, and Joyce from Kansas. Boy, Kansas is well represented. Judy, New Brunswick, Francis Marie, did I already say that? Jeanette, how are you? Yvonne, Petawawa, and Frida, good morning. And Keith, good morning. And Wendy from Wasaga Beach. Karen, Peterborough. Jeanette, how are you? And Rosalinda from the Kidneys of Canada. Jocelyn. And Karen, Little Britain. And Cecilia, New Brunswick. Etta, how are you? Sandy, Washington State. Donna from Bell Valley. Nick from our staff. Good morning. Gary, rainy Bolton. That's not rainy in Sudbury, but it's cold. Rachel. Catherine, Newfoundland. Janine, West Kelowna. Donna from Newfoundland. Kathy from Port Perry. Couple of more guys. Wanda from Virginia. Good morning. Marcia from Mexico. Bobby, Wendy Kitchener, Kelly, nice to have you on. Alice from Labrador. Bonnie, London. And Rosa. Yvonne, I'm going to say hello to Dr. McEwen. I'm not sure she's on. Victoria. I miss people. Lori, Niagara Falls. Marianne, London. Two more. Anne, how is you? And there's Dr. McEwen. I knew she was on. Darlene from West Virginia. And Giselle and Barbara. Guys, thanks for being such friends. And Nancy from Iowa. And Leela and Millie Ka. You guys are great. Bruno, thank you for coming on. Okay, now. Just a couple, I think what we'll do this morning is just go through a few new studies that I've seen over the last few days. Okay? And so we just tell you about the study and then maybe we'll do some analysis of it. Okay? And here's one, a new one done on studies. A new study done on statins. It ain't good. No. What they're saying is statins, one of the side effects is possibly, statins, this is me, okay? And you guys know this. I've been talking about this for so long. It makes your head spin. Statins work, by the way. Okay? So let me just say that. Statins work. If you want to lower your LDL, okay, low density lipoprotein, if you want to lower that, you get on a statin, you'll lower it. Okay? On paper, statins work. Okay? They do. My problem with it is So what? So what? Why do you want to lower your LDL cholesterol? That's me. I've been harping on that for as long as I can remember. And I mean it. Because I never bought the cholesterol hoax. I never did. I always, and I've told you guys, I'm a big, big proponent of having high cholesterol, a big proponent of eating cholesterol, and cholesterol is not the boogeyman. And as I've been saying the last few days, good luck trying to change that narrative. Now, there are cardiologists, there are doctors, and out there, good for them. Okay? Good for them. And guys, I can't tell you not to take a statin drug, but I always question the so-called science of it. Okay? Now, on the heel, so just finish up on this. Statins, okay, one of its side effects is tinnitus, okay? Ringing in the ears. No fun. A lot of people have that. Now, for me, when patients used to, when I used to see patients, one of the things I found with tinnitus was insulin resistance almost invariably. Okay? And two, and this would go along to some extent with statins, because statins, one of its biggest side effects causes diabetes. 50% of women on a statin drug will become a diabetic. So it plays around with their insulin. But this study is saying statins, one of the side effects, possible side effects, is tinnitus, okay? So I flagged that. And then at the same time, I was reading a study, another study confirming the importance of your triglycerides to HDL. What have I taught you? That's the key to heart disease. Is triglycerides, they're fat balls, you don't want them to be high. And HDL, you want that to be high. Okay? And it's that ratio that's important. Now, there's a couple of schools of thought on this. You know, I like HDL to be higher than triglycerides. And my theory is, the reason I want that is I want more HDL running around in your bloodstream, like Amazon trucks or FedEx trucks or Canada Post or you name the carrier, okay? One thing, if you go along, if you travel, especially, down south here in Ontario, or especially in the United States, man, there's a lot of trucks on the road, aren't there? It's unreal, the amount of transports on the road. And whenever I see a transport, I think of HDL, okay? And I shouldn't eliminate LDL, because LDL is important too. It's a transporter. It's very important for your immune system. If you want to have low LDL, that's because you want to die younger. Like, I don't like it. But anyway, when I see these transport trucks, I think of HDL. The more HDL there is in the highways and byways of your blood vessels, the more they hitch their wagon. They're not only they go into the blood to bring your hormones. Okay? You need those hormones. You need cholesterol for your hormones. And they transport hormones into your blood, then off into your tissue. You need those things like estrogen and progesterone and testosterone. You need those things, okay? And, why do you want to lower your cholesterol? They're on your side. But when I see those transport trucks, I know, in my mind, I picture those cholesterol going through your blood vessels and then hitching their wagon, hitching the truck to bring back those triglycerides that are formed in your liver back to the liver to be processed. Okay? They bring them back. They're on your side. And remember, triglycerides are, high triglycerides are dangerous. Okay? So this study is confirming, again, that you want, okay, this was done in India, by the way, that you want to have, in what they're finding out in India, is, the diabetes and metabolic syndrome in India is it's like wildfire. It's so, the numbers are so high. And it's serious. And, probably with somewhat of a sedentary lifestyle that they're adapting, they're eating like us. Like in North America. Anyway, they said, okay, lowering your triglycerides and elevating your HDL is very preventative to heart disease. Hello? I get it. And I know you guys know this, but the world don't know it. The world don't know it. You want your cholesterol, and very specifically your HDL, to be high. You don't want it low. Okay? And you're in trouble if it's low and your triglycerides are high. Fat balls. Triglycerides. 3 fat balls. And that fat circulating through your blood vessels can clog them up. You don't want that. Okay? You don't want that. Now, again, I know it's elementary to most of you, but I got to go over this again. How do you get high triglycerides and low HDL? You don't want that. How do you get high triglycerides? When the liver is full, the Costco parking lot. When the Costco parking lot is full, your body sends triglycerides into your bloodstream. It tries to empty out the liver. And you're not manufacturing enough HDL to go get those triglycerides. That's a big problem. And one of the things that will gum up the Costco parking lot, your liver, is especially fructose. Okay? And especially when you drink fructose. I get a migraine at Starbucks. I'm always ready to give people high five when they get the memo about coffee and how good it is for you and how good it is for your liver. Okay? I'm always ready to give a high five. You know what? I talked to a lady the other day. She said, you know what, Dr. Martin? I didn't drink coffee. I didn't think it was good for me until I listened to you. And it seems like you talk about coffee every day. So I started drinking coffee because I thought I shouldn't. And you know what? Am I ever enjoying that? I said, isn't that a wonderful blessing that you get to enjoy? It's like steak. Who doesn't like steak? No, I can't eat steak. It's full of cholesterol. Yeah. Isn't that good? You know, God gives us stuff to enjoy. Let's enjoy it. He gave us coffee to enjoy. And then we find out it's so good for you. Of course, I've been saying that since the 1970s. All the gurus. Coffee's acidic. It's no good for you. It's terrible stuff. It's going to dehydrate you and it's miserable and, don't drink coffee. Nonsense. They were wrong. They're still wrong. And every study proves it. The real vitamin C. Anyway, why am I talking about that? Because coffee is good for your liver. And coffee will keep you away from liver cancer. Imagine that, because it acts like metformin. It'll keep your blood sugar down. And remember, it's sugar. It's fructose, especially that high fructose corn syrup. And especially when you drink, Dr. Martin, it's Tropicana. I don't care. It's no good for you. I see people drinking. It's still the favorite drink in the morning is orange juice or apple juice. That's the craziest thing in the world is drinking that stuff. But Dr. Martin, it's freshly squeezed. Don't drink it. God wanted you to eat fruit, not drink it. You want to eat fruit? Eat fruit. Don't drink it. Unless you put a few berries in the Dr. Martin's Perfect Smoothie, then it's perfect. Okay. No, but seriously, guys, these studies are just confirming. Why do you want to have low cholesterol on paper? The commercials on TV, they're giving each other high fives. I got my cholesterol down. And I'm John the Baptist looking at that commercial on TV and going, you're crazy. Why do you want to get your cholesterol down? Well, it looks good on paper. My doctor's happy. I don't want to make your doctor happy. I want you to be healthy. I want you to be healthy. You need cholesterol. Your brain needs cholesterol. Your brain even makes cholesterol. Did you know that? That your brain makes cholesterol? The biggest craziness when we went fat-free, for heaven's sakes. It was the worst, one of the worst failed experiments in the history of mankind. Fat-free. Reduced fat. That's the food industry. Because all they can think of is 1, moderation, and 2, calories. Oh, we reduced your calories. That had nothing to do with insulin. So this study out of India says you want to lower your triglycerides and elevate your cholesterol, your HDL, and I tell you your LDL too. But anyway, let me stick to the study. And they said, quote, you do that by food. Reduce your carbohydrates. Reduce your carbohydrates. Protein is king. Fat is queen. And the joker is carbohydrates. We live in a crazy world. We got it upside down. And they pump it, and they pump it, and they pump it. And, you know, I always have to remind myself, okay? Because sometimes I talk about this so much that sometimes I think that people are on board with me. And then I talk to people and I said, what? They go, you want high cholesterol? What? Oh, you haven't been listening. You don't listen to the Dr. Zen podcast, do you? No? Well, you should. Oh, and I know there's a lot of pressure because every day, if you're on our private Facebook group, and why aren't you on that? But if you're on it, you must admit, every day someone puts some comment or whatever about cholesterol. I went to see my doctor, and my doctor wants me on statins, or here's my numbers, and I'm sure my doctor's going to scream at me. It's no fun to get screamed at, is it? I'm not screaming at you, okay? I'm not. You guys are on my side. I'm not screaming. I used to have this in the office because I'm loud. I think it was because there was 11 children. I had to be heard in our home, okay? Like, Dr. Martin, would you reduce the volume? I can't. I got a built-in microphone in my throat. That's what my son says. Dad, you don't need a mic. You're loud, and yet I'm wearing a mic. Okay, so this study, even in India, are telling Indians, East Indians, to lower their intake of carbohydrates. And guys, you know I like that, but it's not only like I'm big on this, okay? Like, yeah, lower your carbs, but increase your protein and fat, eggs, meat, and cheese. I promise you ain't ever going to be a diabetic. Ever, when you eat eggs, meat, and cheese. You know, but it lowers your triglycerides. It elevates your HDL. Now, other factors, okay, and I'm just throwing this in, proven, you want to lower your triglycerides and elevate your HDL, high DHA. Therapeutically, it will do it. Proven. Exercise is very good for that. And especially metabolically. Okay, this is really important. I was explaining this to a friend yesterday. You need, ladies, listen. Lindas, listen. Larry's, you listen. You need the best organ metabolically that's on your side. An endocrine organ, it should be, in my opinion, is, because of all the research, is muscle. Muscle is on your side. And I don't care if you're 5'2" and $125, wait. Okay? Just get stronger. Because the more research that's done on muscles, the more impact it has on triglycerides, because think of muscles as storage bins. Muscles metabolically help your heart. And people are walking around, they got a lot of extra fat on them, but not enough muscle on them. You see, some people can be, when they look at their BMI or whatever, and they look at them and they go, well, you're bigger, you're obese, in the word obese. And I know a lot of people that are bigger, but they're strong. They're strong. They got a lot of muscle. Like a sumo, is that how you say it? Sumo wrestler? Now, I'm not telling you to be like that. I'm just telling you that they get away with it to some extent because they have a lot of muscle. They're very strong. Muscle, guys, is on your side. Like, it's not just for osteoporosis, okay, which is very good for osteoporosis. Ladies, you need muscle. Men, you need muscle. I can't emphasize that enough. Yes, cardio is good. Walking is good. I love that. You know that. Vitamin E, I'm big on that. Exercise, move, but get strong, folks. Get strong. Because when I see these studies out of India, and one of the things, the vitamin that you need to take is vitamin E. And part of that vitamin E, the exercise, is you getting stronger. Get a hand gripper. Even that helps. Get bands. You want to join a gym? Good. I love that. Okay. Gyms owe me money. I was screaming, as you can remember. Okay. Two things. If you remember, now we can talk about COVID. Okay. Couldn't talk about it before. Or not much. We had to couch it. But if we look back, remember me, okay? Remember? What in the heck are we doing when we closed the beaches and they didn't want you in the parks and they didn't want you, my head was exploding. You guys remember that? The sun. Get outside. The virus has no chance outside. But the other thing I was screaming about, they opened Walmart and closed the gyms. I was screaming about that. Are you kidding me? Because the only people, generally, almost without exception, that got sick were people with pre-existing conditions. They had metabolic syndrome. They had high blood pressure. They had high blood sugar. They had high triglycerides and low HDL. This is almost invariable. They were obese. A lack of muscle. And I was screaming, go to the gym. Or have a gym in your house. Yes. Yes, because these things are important. It's really important. Metabolically, guys. Okay? Metabolically. You want your ratios in HDL and triglycerides. Okay? Some people like triglycerides to be low. They all agree on that, by the way. People that, if you know anything about your lipids, I don't think there's anybody on the planet that would say, well, I want you to have high triglycerides. I haven't met anybody, even a cardiologist. They don't look at it too much, but they don't want you to have high. Now, they hate cholesterol. Okay? Meaning they don't want you, they want you low. And they, guys, when I was in school in the 70s, okay? In the days of Noah, if you go back, you should see how they've lowered the bar to put more people on medication. Unbelievable. They lowered like cholesterol. We got to get it down, down, and down. Are we going to change that? Probably not. And they never see, food as being, just eat less steak and your cholesterol will go down. That's true. Why do you want your cholesterol to go down? If you eat less steak, your triglycerides are going to go up. Guys, it all comes back. All comes back to the things you and I have been talking about for a long time. Get your triglycerides down and get your HDL up. High density lipoprotein. Get it up. Okay? Get it up. Okay. Fridays are coming. That's question and answer. Ask your questions. If you got questions about cholesterol, ask them. Now, I might not take up every question on cholesterol on Friday because we could spend the whole day again. But send in your questions, guys. If you're not sure about something, ask. Ask and you shall receive. Seek and you shall find. Knock and the door shall be opened unto you. Very biblical to ask, Okay, guys, we love you dearly. Okay? I'm breathing again, okay? I got a little excited today. I just get excited when I see these studies on cholesterol. It just drives me bonkers. Okay, we love you. We'll talk to you soon.